Knox 16/18 horsepower Tudor 5-passenger touring 1904. The story of this particular Knox begins with its purchase by Mr. Gilmartin of Ely, Nebraska, a small town about 140 miles northwest of Omaha. This may have been James Gilmartin, who was a warehouse inspector for the milling industry in the area, a job that would require reliable transportation. Mr. Gilmartin used the car for many years and is reported to have had the larger than original standard universal rims installed on the car for extra clearance on the perilous Nebraska roads. By 1940 the old Knox was being used to power farm machinery. Early collectors and farm equipment dealers Herb and Bob Horn found the Knox on jacks being used to power a cement mixer. They were able to buy the car for their antique auto collection in Fort Dodge, Iowa. However, Mr. Gilmartin would not let them have the original wooden roof panel until the Horns provided a new cover for the grain bin. The first restoration was immediately begun, and the car was driven around town to the delight of the local populace upon completion in the spring of 1941. The Horn brothers moved their business and collection to Sarasota, here in Florida in the 50s, taking the Knox and about 70 other cars with them to open Horn's Cars of Yesterday. There the car remained for several decades. The museum was sold to Walter Belm in 1967, a native of St. Louis, Mo and founder of Belm Freight Lines, who had also moved to Sarasota. Around 1980 Mr. Belm sold the Knox to fellow St. Louis enthusiasts Fred and Dave Weber. It is believed that cosmetic restoration was performed by the Webers before selling it on to Norman Buckhart in California. Mr. Buckhart, a founding member of the Locomobile Society and a noted authority on early cars, entered the Knox in the London to Brighton Veteran Car Run in 1987 and 1988. Shortly thereafter, in 1989 Mr. Buckhart sold the Knox to John Bertolotti, another West Coast brass car collector of note. Mr. Bertolotti had more restoration work performed, using the car sparingly in his dozen years of ownership. In 2012 the Knox was once again sold to California collector Mr. Barry Honorable. Recognizing the significance and usability of the Knox, Mr. Hahn entered the car once again and participated in the 2013 London to Brighton Veteran Car Run. During Mr. Hahn's ownership, significant work was carried out, including an engine rebuild with a new counterbalanced crankshaft, new pistons, installation of an electric starter and the building of a nice quality folding top, done at Chris Kidd's Tired Iron Works in Monrovia, California. A former owner purchased the Knox from Mr. Hahn at a Bonham's sale in 2015. With the intention of taking the car to England once again, the Knox was sent to Chris Charlton's Classic Car Services in Oxford, Maine. Preparation for driving the car from London to Brighton involved work on the suspension, transmission, back axle, valve timing, rebuilding the ignition timer, exhaust system and engine oiling system, among other things. The intent was to make the car as reliable as possible. After reassembly, the Knox was driven on several local tours and shown at local events in Maine, where it won a Best in Show award. During the testing period, the advertised top speed of 35 miles per hour was attained, and it was determined that it cruises happily at 25-28 miles per hour. It handles very nicely, steers easily once it's moving, and tracks totally straight. The brakes work remarkably well, and the 6 springs give a smooth ride. Many of these features are significantly superior to some of its lower-priced contemporaries. The Knox was sent off to England for the 2016 Bonham's London to Brighton Veteran Car Run, which it completed without any issue and cruised up some of the toughest hills with a full complement of 4 passengers. Although setting off with the start number that year of 399, which was toward the back, the finish in Brighton was easily mid-pack, and the magnificent Knox ran and drove just like it is supposed to. Following this success, the car passed to the previous owner, in whose custody it has continued to have been exercised on occasions and required no further maintenance. The current owner, a Tampa-based collector of impressive pre-WW1 cars, ran the Knox with great success on the 2019 London to Brighton run, and had the car dated by the VCC. Further sorting was also carried out in the past year. On the basis of its proven performance and the significant restoration work done on the car in past years, It is anticipated that this should be a reliable car for 1 and 2 cylinder tours and easily capable of more drives from London to Brighton. The original wood top is supplied with the car, although it does need to be restored. The touring box rear container also is included, along with miscellaneous hardware, and an extra set of non-skid tires. A file on recent work, some historical documents and factory literature goes with the car.